In this video, I'm going to share my tips on lighting for YouTube videos and how to create amazing video lighting effects on a budget, even if you're new to video lighting and don't have access to professional video lighting kit. When it comes to lighting your YouTube videos, the key is to understand the basics of lighting and learning how to use and shape light to your advantage. Armed with this, you can make adjustments to fit your specific needs and budget. Make sure you watch through to the end, because after I cover the different lighting positions, what they do and how you can achieve the best results with them, I'll share how you can achieve exactly the same results even when you don't have any professional lights. First off, I want to address a common misconception about lighting. If you've been worrying about not getting your YouTube lighting correct, stop now. Remember, there is no absolute right or wrong when it comes to video lighting setup. Your videos and the lighting of them is a creative process, and you should go with the look that feels right for you. That said, the following tips will help you to avoid some of the common pitfalls and understand how lighting effects work in general so that you can make your own informed choices. Firstly, it's important to have a general understanding of the three main types of lighting: key light, fill light, and backlight. The key light is the main source of light for your subject. The fill light helps to reduce shadows and add dimension, and the backlight adds separation between the subject and the background, giving depth. The lighting of any scene can totally change the look, feel, quality, and emotion of your video, and it can help grab your audience's attention, shining a spotlight quite literally on the subject of your video. It doesn't matter if you're filming with your smartphone or a DSLR camera. Proper lighting elevates the quality of your whole production, which in turn leads to more engaged audiences, the exact route to YouTube success. With this in mind, the most important and versatile light for any beginner on a budget is a key light, which just means the main light. This can be achieved with a simple softbox or umbrella with a continuous light source such as a fluorescent bulb or LED light. This light should be positioned in front of the subject, slightly above eye level and angled to point down on the subject. This will provide a basic and even illumination of the subject. My own personal choice for this is a Yongnuo YN300 Air Pro LED, which you can easily pick up from Amazon at a reasonable price. The height, angle and softness of the light is especially important if you wear glasses, as it will help avoid those harsh reflections on the lenses. To achieve a slightly more dramatic or cinematic look, you can experiment with moving the light slightly off to one side, which will give you a darker shadow on the opposite side, creating some depth and contrast. Secondly, you can add a fill light to help reduce shadows and add dimension. This can be achieved with a small LED panel light. Position this light on the opposite side of the key light and make sure it's not quite as bright as the key light. These two lights plus a background light will give you a really professional studio look. If a third light is available, then this can be used to light you up from behind and above to create some depth to your scene. It's often called a rim or hair light. This combination is often referred to as a three-point lighting setup, and whilst it can add some definition to your outline and help separate you from the background, it's absolutely not essential to have all three. I also want to touch on the colour of the lights you use, which affect the overall look and feel of the video. For a natural and warm look, you can use daylight balanced bulbs. For a cool and more cinematic look, you can use tungsten balanced bulbs. Once your main lights are set up, if you want to take things a step further, you can light up the background a little. This doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You can introduce a background light source simply by having your computer screen on behind you, or you can use a desk lamp. Any soft light will warm up the background area and help add a little more colour and interest to the scene. So now that I've covered what the different lights do, what happens if you don't have access to any professional lights to create this type of lighting setup? Well, the good news is You can get amazing results using natural light, plus the practical lights you have around your house. If you're just starting out or don't yet have access to lighting equipment, you can replicate the multiple lighting system I've just described without any pro lighting gear at all. Start by finding a window. Natural light can be your friend when used correctly. Find a spot where you can set up to film facing a window. If possible, screen or cover the window with either a blind or curtains so that the light is not too harsh. In other words, diffused. If you don't have blinds or curtains, you can tape a white bedsheet or an opaque shower curtain over the window to soften the light. The window will act as your key light. A common mistake here is sitting with your back to the window and shooting toward it. If you do this, you or the main subject will look very dark and shadowy against the light from behind, and it will create too bright a shot, sometimes referred to as blown out. Always film with the subject facing the window. Next, you can add a couple of fill lights. These work best when positioned between the window and you at 45-degree angles or 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock positions, and should be soft, diffused light. A desk lamp or bedside lamp with a shade will work best for this. If possible, use 2 lights with the same colour temperature so that it matches. If you have one cool and one warm light, it could cause some weird things to happen with your skin tone, which will be hard to fix later in editing. To complete the look, you can add a backlight. This can be a tall floor lamp placed in the background. This would add some depth into the shot. Once your lights are in position, if you find it is still a bit dark in the background, you can put an overhead light on, providing it is a reasonable distance away from your main subject and not directly overhead. If it is directly above the subject, don't use it, because it will cast very dark shadows over the shoulders and under the eyes. To add a little more soft ambient light to your face when you don't have enough lights, you can use the screen of your laptop or monitor. To achieve the look you want, simply go to YouTube and search for off-white screensaver. Select one and click on the full screen option. This does an excellent job acting as an extra light. If you do use this method, be sure to change the display settings on your computer to never sleep, so that the light doesn't disappear partway through filming. I learnt this the hard way. But Jane, I don't have a suitable window where I can film using natural light. Don't worry, I've got you covered. If this is the case for you, try and find a neutral coloured wall and one bright light. Place the light quite close to the wall and shine it directly at the wall. Position yourself, or the main subject, close to the wall and use the diffused light that bounces back off the wall as your main light. You should get a nice soft lighting effect, which will be far better than the harsh, flat look you would get from pointing the light straight at your face or the subject. Remember, for good lighting, the main focus is to light yourself or the subject of your video first. Then just play around with the rest until you achieve a look that you like. By understanding the basics of lighting and making adjustments to fit your budget, you can effectively light any scene and achieve professional looking YouTube videos every time. Experiment and find what works best for you and your specific needs. Don't overthink it, have fun with it. More importantly, make sure 2023 is the year that you take your YouTube videos to the next level. If that seems easier said than done, there are 7 things you can do right now that will help you make better videos and grow your channel faster. And all you need to do is click on this video next.